What's up with the squad? Back with another video. Y'all seen the title, what's going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Definitely apologize for dropping so late. Been trying to, really get a lot figured out, within my schedule. For the people that don't like hearing about my personal life, you don't have to watch the video. Because I typically do just to let y'all know what's going on. I guess you can say I'm just not, like everyone else when it comes down to, a lot. But I do like letting y'all know what's going on. Literally just had a day. Just came off being sick, and then you run into more problems. But one thing about it is that y'all keep me moving every day. Y'all keep me moving. And y'all make sure that, things are well, things are good. But you got here. Tom Moments confirms that DHS is investigating and running the papers on Ilhan Omar's immigration status in this country this week. So not only are, they're pushing that, to get, when it comes to the illegal aliens out, but also, it comes to the fact that what Ilhan Omar, of what's going on within her, what's going on within Tim Walz, and everything else going on in Minnesota. Definitely some bad things. Got it right here. Borders are Tom Homan announces DHS is looking into whether Ilhan Omar came to the U.S. illegally by marrying her brother. So again, it's more and more things that's coming out each and every day, and more things that investigate, which we want. Y'all remember y'all seeing my last video and me explaining to y'all that I truly feel as if it is very important for them to gather as much information as they can. So then when it comes down to it, you actually have, something. And I definitely love that. Check it out right here.
Mentioning the Daily Mail reporting from 2020 that Ilhan Omar married her brother to get into the country. This was last week. Take a listen.
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud.
Calls that a fraud. It's a story that has never been successfully refuted, even though it's now a 5-year-old story. That's clearly a deportable offense. Is there an investigation into that?
I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, who reviewed the file, and says there was immigration fraud involved. The statute of limitations became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who ran DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at, but this fraud investigator, who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he reviewed the file. So I'm running that down this week, matter of fact, and we'll see.
It's
amazing.
It's tremendous that, and according to the Secretary, Kristi Noem of DHS, she said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this community. That would mean that half the Somali refugees are here in some way illegally. What's going to happen? Is something actually going to happen? Are there going to be people stripped of their visas, deported? Are we going to see that?
Absolutely. Those days are over. Thank God President Trump's in the White House. We're going to look at all of them. We're going to look at those here illegally, of course. We're going to look at those here under a visa or some sort of, immigration process that are criminals. We're going to look at the national security threats. But those who came through a process that weren't properly vetted, who didn't provide documentation, who slipped through the Biden's weak processes on, giving visas and temporary, whether student visas or visitors visas or whatever. We're going the whole gamut. President Trump has instructed us go down and we're going to deep dive all of this. And we're going to hold people accountable. So yes, there are going to be multiple deportations coming. Absolutely.
There's so many claims of
Y'all heard it. A lot.
The Daily Mail
a lot. When I say a lot. There's a lot of things that's happening. Not only just Ilhan Omar, not only just Tim Walz, but everyone. When it comes down to it, that's in, this corruption, this having it being in. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. This is definitely something that I want them to be able to crack down on, because this is something that's truly serious. I literally thought when I was talking about it, you had that 250 million, you got 350 million. I'm wondering like, dang, that's a lot of money. But then it hit to that 1 billion. And then I got to talking about it, and I'm talking about it. And I'm like telling, y'all, I'm like, yeah, 1 billion, that they stole, from taxpayers and this, that, and the other. Come to find out, It's over $8 billion. $8 billion. Not only that, you have Tim Walz. You know, you got Ilhan Omar. You have money sent. You know, not even Ilhan Omar. You have Somalians that live, you know, in Minnesota. That's got new cars. I'm talking about brand new cars. Not no just your regular car. Brand new sports cars. You having brand new iPhones. You know, that 17 just came out. You're having multiple things. You know, and then on top of that, you're having money sent to Somalia. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely insane. Definitely insane. It says here, post by Benny Johnson. Somebody check on Ilhan Omar. President Trump is going off on her for marrying her brother and complaining for a living. Check it out.
Kind of immigrants that you do want to see in America?
They certainly contribute. Yeah, I want to see people. Yeah, I want to see people that contribute. I don't want to see Somalia. I don't want to see a woman that, you know, marries her brother to get in and then becomes a congressman, does nothing but complain. All she does is complain. And yet her country's a mess. You know, it's one of the worst in the world. Let her go back, fix up her own country. Somalia, yeah, and I was right about it. You know, I started complaining about Somalia long before the scandal. The horrible things they're doing to Minnesota, it's incredible. They have an incompetent governor there too. The Democrats are running some bad ships.
Speaking of ships.
Definitely. And we see it every day. I'm just glad that this is something that, and obviously it was going to be caught. I mean, I feel like it's just one of those things. It's definitely one of those things because I'm going to tell y'all how a lot of this, you know, come about when it comes to this money. It always starts off small. It definitely always starts off small. You know, we're looking at millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, you know. Looking at simple fact, okay, Ilhan Omar, she got money. You got Tim Walz, you know. You're having all these different people allegedly, you know, and you have these Somalians, and you obviously see it. You have these Somalians, right? As they're seeing more and more Somalians come in, more and more of these individuals come in, you start seeing and noticing, okay, well, we need more money. We need more money for this person. We need to do this. We can get more money. They get greedy. And that's exactly why that over 8 billion, that number is so high. You're getting greedy. You know, not only, you know, you got Ilhan Omar, you got others that's living in Minnesota. You also have people in Somalia. I'm telling y'all, definitely insane, y'all. It's definitely insane. So not only, like I said, it's about Ilhan Omar, Tim Walz and such. Says here, ICE just carried out another wave of armed house raids in Minneapolis. What was supposed to be a targeted arrest of one illegal alien exploded into multiple arrests. The entire house was packed with illegals. This is exactly what sanctuary cities policies are, you know, and I'm telling y'all, it's definitely insane. Says one illegal was released because of those policies, and now special response teams had to be deployed, and they found even more hiding inside. So definitely insane. Check it out, Fox News.
He assaulted the police officer, even attempted to choke him and steal his weapon. Now, he was picked up, he was arrested, but then released before ICE could file a detainer. So yesterday, they had to put together a big special response team and go into the north side of Minneapolis to get him.
If there was no sanctuary policies in a city like Minneapolis and St. Paul, we'd be able to get him at the jail. But because they have those policies, we have to go look for them at their house. And when we go to their house, we're going to arrest anybody that's illegal in that house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did. 2 more guys ICE says are in the U.S. illegally were found in that house. They were swept up in the raid. People in the neighborhood started waking up and blowing whistles. That drew a small crowd of protesters. And one of the protesters put her hands on the ICE agent, a little bit of a shove, if you will, trying to get through the perimeter. That was enough for her to be zip-tied and taken into federal custody. All of it.
And as y'all can see, y'all know who else, you know, blow those whistles and stuff like that. You know, it made me think of gangs. You know, when you had that, when you go in the neighborhood and the police come and they about to, you know, they got a raid and they hit that whistle, it had me thinking of that. It definitely had me thinking of that. You know, of it's pretty crazy. It's definitely pretty crazy on the whole thing. You know, the whole operation that they have. You know, in these neighborhoods. You know, to alarm them. You know, basically get out of here, leave. You know, and run. You know, or hide. You know, I'm telling y'all, it definitely needs to be something. You know that. You know, needs to be done and situated real fast. I'm not even gonna lie. This Elon Musk on Ilhan Omar, y'all. Check it out.
When people say like this is fake, I'm like, actually, well, let's look at, Ilhan Omar, who was voted into Congress by, a large group of people from Somalia, who are in Minnesota, which is really far from Somalia, or Mamdani, who was voted to be mayor, but by a majority of people who are not born in America. That's my understanding, at least. And then California is a big time situation. So I don't know. We just don't want to turn into a communist hellhole, basically.
Yeah, and one thing about it, and he said here, Ilhan Omar, who's literally voted into power by a large group of people from Somalia and Minnesota, which is really far from Somalia. It's almost like Somalia has a congressional seat in Congress. Me personally, I don't even think it's almost. I just feel like it's just, and I know that's hard to say, but I mean, you gotta look at the simple fact that this is something that's very sickening. Something that's very sickening, something that clearly that a lot of Americans are not liking. They're not with because of so much money. You're literally having residents, in Minnesota that are literally, when I say literally, going through it, because of these individuals. You have people that have these Somalis in apartment buildings, and having gang wars in these apartment buildings. I'm telling y'all, definitely insane. Says here, and I'm not gonna play this video because she's not speaking English. This is Ilhan Omar 2024. It says the U.S. government will only, this is as she said, obviously in a different language. And the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. Let me read that again. She said the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. Tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders. One thing about it is that this is something that they're truly, truly, truly trying to push and trying to do. I seen a post earlier that there's more and more Somalians, I'm pretty sure, in different areas, the United States, that's trying to do the same thing. We could cover that tomorrow, but there's other places, and it's definitely insane. Just this post right here, just check out what Ilhan Omar says about America.
And instead of us saying, here is A, B, and C, we're saying there is zero option. And if you ever think that you have a chance, we're going to treat you worse than a dog. One of our members said to me, if there were dogs in those cages, every single member of Congress would vote to make sure that all of these cages didn't exist anymore. So we live in a society and govern in a body that might value the life of a dog more than they value the life of a child who might not look like theirs. And that is completely.
And I feel like they're trying to push a lot of this, and they're constantly doing this. They try to push a lot. When it comes down to this race thing. Just because my child doesn't look, the same as their child, it's stuff like that. It's stuff like that I truly, don't get in a sense, and I truly don't, I don't like that. You get it from the left a lot. You get it from left a lot. They try to push this, this whole race thing. And I truly can't stand it because it's just for the simple fact where, people have to stop that. When you don't talk about it, when you don't push it there, it calms down. But they try to push that because so many people are just, what they say, so woke, or I can't stand that whatsoever, y'all. I'm telling y'all. As y'all can see, she doesn't care anything about America whatsoever, at all. We really have here, President Trump is going berserk on Somali migrants, says Tim Walz. Is, y'all know what. I have to watch what I say on here. You already know. But just check out what President Trump has to say.
Ilhan Omar and the people from Somalia, they hate our country. And they think we're stupid people, which actually, when they allow that to happen, they are. That's headed by Governor Walz, one of the dumber people around. No, but think of it. He's given not like peanuts, billions. These are people that don't work in their own country. Their own country's a failure. They have no money there. And yet they come into our country and steal tens of billions of dollars. How stupid are we to allow that to happen? They can't earn 10 cents in their country. They come over here and rob. Are we that easy?
Come on now.
Easy to allow a thing like that to happen? That's up to you. And look at what's going on in North Carolina.
I'm telling y'all, it's happening in so many other places. So one thing about it is that I cannot wait till they actually crack down and actually get some stuff done, because I feel like it's definitely time for that. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Let me know your comments and thoughts down below. Definitely appreciate all of y'all for y'all support and what y'all do, sharing the videos, liking the videos, commenting, all of that. I'm gonna try to get to y'all comments, but if I don't, I definitely apologize. Haven't really got to spend time with the kiddos and stuff like that. I literally just left basketball practice for my my fifth and sixth grade team, and then I got another practice tomorrow. So I've been trying to move and trying to get things done. I know a lot of y'all understand, but just bear with me. I'm gonna do my best, and getting stuff done, for y'all, and keep getting out the truth, because it definitely is important. Definitely important. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe, and definitely appreciate y'all most of everybody. Catch y'all next one.